Hello all, my name is Ali KTS and this is the second video to a Blender Basics series that we started. In the last video we talked about edges, vertex and faces, and we talked a little bit about how to move objects, scale them and rotate them. Today we are going to talk about object interaction mode and pivot point for scaling and rotation. So let's start with object interaction mode. Okay, so when you click on tab in your keyboard, let's first create an object. Okay, so when you click on tab, so this menu that you get here, these options that you get, all these options, this whole panel is called object interaction mode. You can also access it from down here, and you can go to different modes of interaction. Now, all of these mode of interaction give you a different functionality. Like suppose if I go to edit mode, so in this mode I can edit the object. But if I go to texture paint, so in this mode I can paint this object, I can paint the texture on it, but since there is no UV applied on it, no texture there, so that's why we can't actually do it right now, and that is an advanced topic, so we're not going to touch it now. Other is vertex paint. In vertex paint, you actually paint the vertex point. So let's say I pick up this blue color and I paint here. So as you can see, I've painted the vertex. If I click there, so like you see these vertex here. In the last video, we talked about vertexes, these points that you see. So what this vertex paint means that you can paint those vertexes. So if I go and paint this one red and go and pick up a green color and paint this one green, just pick another random color and just fill this up. Let's make an amazing cool looking colorful shape, and we go around down and we cover the last shape with a bit of a different color. Okay, just pick any color you like and just paint it out. Just paint each vertex. And let's see, with the most basics of things, how amazing things we can create if we know how to use them. So we have a colorful looking beautiful cube. That's what word expand does. And this is nothing like if you have like a big character, so you can just paint all the vertexes according to the vertex, and you can have a really good character by just vertex painting it. Okay, the sculpt mode. In this mode, you can sculpt a character. Like if you heard of sculpting, where they like sculpt all these beautiful statues and all that, this kind of works the same. You can click on here and you have different kind of brushes here which you select, and when you click on them you can sculpt an object. So this also work on a vertex. When you select, like each vertex is kind of sculpt in the direction. We have a fewer number of vertexes here, so that's why it doesn't seem to be working. So let's go ahead and increase. Okay, as you can see here, subdivide. So what this does is it subdivides the whole structure, the whole object into more vertexes. Like if I say subdivide smooth, so when you click on subdivide smooth, so it's also subdivided but also smoothed out. So but if I just subdivide it, so it just subdivides it. So as you can see, it is subdivided into equal vertexes, and you have equal number of faces on all the sides, and each face is composed of 4 vertexes. So that's what it does. So let's see if the sculpting works now. Okay, it's still not working, but I think you need a lot of vertices for this to work. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's zoom in and see the change happening. Okay, as you can see, the shape is kind of changing a little bit. Let me zoom on it. Okay, look at the corner. Okay, you'll see the corner changing in a while. It takes a lot of time and it's a lot of headache, but if you like develop your characters by this way, so they look really good. These different brushes do different things. Some brushes smooth them out, some brushes pull them out, some brushes, so you can test them out yourself. Now the weight pen mode, this here you can weight pen an object, and this is useful in rigging, and we're going to discuss this in that part. So let's leave that for that. And edit mode, you already know this, we discussed this in the previous video. So that was what object interaction mode is. Now let's talk about pivot point for rotation and scaling. You see this here, this. So this is what defines the pivot point of the object. So if it is on median point, sorry, if it is on median point, like here, so then it means like the object is going to be scaled or rotated from the point of its center. As you can see, this is the center, and this is where it's happening, like where the the origin of the object is. If you want to change the origin of an object, like suppose if you want to say that this is a cube, you can change the way you look at the screen by clicking on 5 of your keyboard. Change it from orthographic to perspective and perspective to orthographic. While doing work like this, I think perspective orthographic works better, but if you're like viewing the object, so orthographic works better. You can change it from front view to third view by to side view by clicking on 3. You can change it back to 1. This is also a different video task, so we're going to discuss it in that video. Let's talk about median point. So let's say I want to move the origin point to here, to like the base of the object. So we can say set origin to the 3D cursor. This cursor that you see here, not the mouse cursor, the cursor in the blender, that's called 3D cursor. So if I say, so now as you can see, the origin of this object, the little dot that is on the base of the object. So now when you scale, it's going to be scaled according to this. Now when you rotate it, it's going to be according to this this origin of the object. But if you go ahead and change it to active element, so then it is going to be scaled according to active element. So let's say this is my active element. So as you saw, the object is scaling according to this very point. See, that is what active element means. And if I say, I want to say individual origins, so as you can see each origin, each vertex is scaling differently and individually, and that is what it means. So if you have like two objects in a scene, let me scale it out so it's easier to see. Now if I scale them both in individual object mode, so they're going to scale out according to their own origin points, and if it was on median point, so they're going to scale out at a place of center, as you can see, like this. And it is more helpful when you're like in the editing mode and you're like moving to vertices, but you actually don't want them to move from the center of the origin. You want them to have their own points, so this works better there. Now we have the 3D cursor. So now, and when I scale this out, these both objects out, so they're going to scale according to this 3D circle. The pivot point is set to this 3D circle. So when you rotate them, as you can see, it is rotating around the 3D circle, even though their origin points are in the center of the objects, but still when you rotate them, they rotate according to 3D circle. So if I bring it here, and now when I rotate it, see, it's rotating around the 3D circle. And bounce back center. Now this, I think what this means is like the center of both the objects, that is set to the pivot point, and according to that the scaling and the rotation is handled. As you can see, it is rotating exactly around the center point of both the objects. So that was it for today, guys. I hope you learned something today. If you think this was helpful, so give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you already haven't, and have a good day, guys. See you soon.